Hi, good evening, friends. Thanks for joining me tonight. As you know, Deepti ji will be joining us again. She'll be sharing with us about the latest slides. But before that, we're also going to talk about Sushant Diaries. There are a lot of questions, a lot of troll that's going on, questioning whether these diaries are is it fake or is it genuine. We probably will touch on that, and there's some questions that actually have risen even in my channel. There's quite a bit of comments. I mean, not a bit, a little bit of comments that people are asking a few questions. So probably we'll touch on that. Welcome, Deepti ji.
Hello, hi Bachchan ji, how are you?
I'm fine. बिल्कुल ठीक है.
बिल्कुल
Okay.
ठीक wow. Okay,
Okay.
that's
Dipti
good.
ma'am, I have been seeing, in fact, you're very busy. I've been watching you too. But sadly, people, they are minute. I know the smaller group of people, minute group of people, not appreciating what you're actually doing. But majority are on your side. Okay. Recently, you do know there's some troll that's going on. Is there anything that you want to say about it?
See, it's not a surprise that such trolling will is going on. It started since I have been fighting Sridevi ji's case, and I came into the on the social media with news about Sridevi ji's case. Since 2018, the case was in Supreme Court of India, but no media covered it. Everyone knew, Republic knew, GTV knew, everyone knew, but no one covered about the case. Okay, uh, but then later, when after taking some legal remedies, let me tell you, when a case is in the court and when you come on social media and start sharing the court documents, none other than Supreme Court of India documents on Twitter, it can be subject to contempt of court. But I took some remedial measures before I came on the social media and started sharing the documents, right? So let me tell you here, Bachchanji, all this trolling, all this criticism is very much expected, because here, unfortunately or fortunately, I am into two deaths, that high profile deaths that have been covered up. Okay, and we can say that the state is involved in the cover up. In Sridevi ji's case, it was the government of two countries. In Sushant Singh Rajput's case, we don't know, because even everyone saw that Mumbai police messed up. I mean, it
Yeah.
was messed up with the case, and it received a lot of flack. That's the reason people, everyone, all the protest, everyone protested for the case to be transferred to CBI. Now it's close to 1 year, or I think 9 or 10 months, that the case has been transferred to CBI, but it hasn't yet filed a charge sheet.
Yeah.
The
Correct.
reason of death has not been declared yet. And in Jia Khan's case, the CBI, even after 9 years, it hasn't declared the reason of death. So me coming in the media, people are using many tactics to, criticize
Yeah.
these diaries. They are saying, oh, if these are really Sushant's diaries, then that should be handed over to his family. How
Correct.
can you share it? How can you share it? Another argument that is coming is that, oh, she could meet she has the defense minister's letter, and she's sharing these dogs, dead dogs, couldn't share and meet with the CBI. Why can't she
Yeah.
hand it over to the CBI? Okay, and we have many people, like of the likes of, forensic experts, some ex-officers, some advocates, coming and bullying me and threatening me on the social media, maligning me on YouTube. Come on, you people claim to have worked closely with the agencies and help them solve the cases, right?
Yeah.
Only simple thing, if you are really interested in justice, as you have been running shows around Sushant's justice, the simple thing to know about the authenticity of the drives is arrange a meeting for me with the CBI. Please attend, whoever wants to accompany. Okay, I want to live stream the entire meeting, wherein I submit these drives for the CBI to authenticate.
Correct.
Then there will be no doubt, right?
Yeah. In fact,
What is the
you have shared about
what
this
is
in the beginning itself. I remember you're
yeah,
going
what
to.
is the agenda? What is the agenda behind, making hours and hours of videos and maligning the diaries, calling them fake and everything? Firstly, if these diaries were fake, if this drives, another, sometimes she says diaries, sometimes she says drives. Let me tell you the meaning of the term diary. in English language is something wherein you document your thoughts or feelings or anywhere. That can be a physical diary, that can be a digital diary. Initially I had no idea how to share the contents of what sort of attacks will come on me. There's the reason I had used a different disclaimer wherein I will not be held accountable, because see, whatever is written in these drives, this is not my work.
Yeah.
I am reading out the work of someone who is no more. Okay, so I should not be held accountable. That's the reason I had put the disclaimer earlier. And then later, some very high level legal entity, they suggested me that you change your disclaimer. You change your disclaimer. And so after taking legal advice, I put this disclaimer, which I am sharing now, saying that these drives I have received and I am waiting for the agency to validate them. And since I couldn't meet them, I am sharing it with the public.
Right.
And Bachanji, now also through your show, I want to request to each and every warrior or SSRN or whatever you call them, if anyone can help me set up a meeting with the CBI to validate the drives, I would welcome and encourage that help. I too want the drives to be validated. But here, what is happening is that I did try twice to meet the CBI to hand over the drives initially before coming onto before sharing the contents in the social media. Okay. When I couldn't do so, that's when I started sharing, tagging the CBI officer in charge, Nupur Prasad, HM, Home Ministry, Prime Minister's Office, and some important media channels and media houses. I started tagging everyone, even SSR's family. Okay, so what is happening is that neither is the agency denying it, nor is it acknowledging it. Okay, and the people whose names have come out, definitely they have a lot of problem, because some faces are getting exposed, right? And they cannot counter me directly. They threatened me that they will file a case on me. I mean, not they in the search, but their IT cells. Let me tell you one thing here, that even on the social media, there are many planted people who initially came out as warriors, so that if any serious movement picks up, they will create disruptions and keep the people divided, so that this momentum doesn't gain so much unity that they will be forced to act. That's the sole reason some of the warriors, so-called warriors, have been planted. I will not take names, but this is a fact. I leave it upon the judgment of the people to analyze who is doing what. Are they helping the justice movement in any which way, or are they just maligning other warriors and creating and dividing the people? I leave it up to the fine sense of judgment of the people, of your viewers, to make this decision. And I don't see any harm. See, if you are a forensic expert, if you are an advocate, if you are an ex-officer, you have better access to CBI people than me. Right? You are declaring, you are being a judge, you are dissecting the slides, every comma, everything, and you are as if you are an expert on Sushant's thought process and his writing skills. They are declaring that it is fake. Okay, if you are so sure that it is fake, and since the investigation is going on, it is a crime to spread such misinformation about the case, right? That's why I'm saying, come on, let us validate that. The only agency which can validate the authenticity is CBI. Since you have better access to it, kindly help me set up a meeting with the CBI. You two come, let us see for ourselves how authentic they are or not. And if they are not authentic, you can straight away file a case on me. And if they are authentic, I will file a case on you for defaming me without knowing anything. Fair enough, right? They will not do anything like that. But they will insist on being the judge themselves. They are not interested to take it to the CBI to validate and clear the confusion of the people once and for all. So I don't know why is it so? I am not in a competition to gain more subscribers or followers at the risk of at such risk, taking such big names.
Yeah.
Right.
Very well said, Deepti. Whatever I wanted to say, actually, you've already explained it pretty well. Firstly, I do remember when the initial stage you did mention to me they're going to Mumbai, and you tried to reach out to, I think, one of the CBI officer, but you could not. And then
Yes.
after a while, when you couldn't reach out to them, you made an attempt. You couldn't reach out to them. So you put it in a public platform. Glad it happened. You couldn't reach out to them, because if you would have been able to reach out to them, this wouldn't be in the public platform now. Now we are able to, know what's in the diary. That's point number one. She have attempted. Now this is running in the social media. Don't tell me none of the CBI officers even watching it is in the Twitter, is in YouTube. So social media is going spreading about this, sharing by Deepti in other channels too. So by
No, I
now,
have been
if it is,
tagging them. I have been tagging
yeah,
them as well, Bachchanji. I have been
yeah,
tagging them
correct,
as well. I had informed Samir Wankre sir as well. Also, when I met him, that I have some information regarding them. If he could help set up. At that point of time, he told me that he doesn't meet Nupur Prasad often. But if she comes to Mumbai again, then he will definitely put a word to her. But then I didn't hear anything from him or her. So I made whatever possible ways I could to meet the CBI.
yeah. So
My only insistence is that I will not hand over the drives to any officer. Many people came. We will help you set up a meeting with the CBI. This is the number of this CBI officer. That is the number of that CBI officer. They came and said, "How can I hand over such a sensitive information to
yeah,
any officer other than the officer in charge?"
correct,
Right. And without
correct.
their valid, I want this entire proceeding to be live streamed, because then there will be no chance of foul play. Because
Okay, so
CBI has to prove, CBI has to redeem itself. CBI has to redeem itself. It has disappointed so far in all the cases that it has handled, in all the high profile cases that it has handled, it has disappointed so far. So as I don't have that trust that this they won't be buried like the Vohra committee report that was buried since '93.
yeah, for whatever that's happening
And
there,
as I'm,
yeah. Go on,
yes,
Deepti.
Bachchanji, you're saying something. Yes, please
No,
tell.
for whatever that's happening there, there's a lot of cover up going. So if you're going to hand this such a sensitive material to anybody, even though they claim CBI, it could, go get into the wrong hands. So I totally agree what you're sharing now. Yeah, and there was also one comment. No, why isn't Deepti ji, reaching out to the family? Come on, Deepti ji is already sharing this on social media. If anybody
I have,
want to assess or look at or want to know about this diary, they should reach out to her. I mean, you are already putting in a lot of effort, doing a lot of things. You have to run after a lot of people to give it to them. Is it? It doesn't make sense at all. And secondly, if those people are also listening to these videos, probably, and if they have an issue, they would have raised it
exactly,
up by now.
exactly.
Yeah. And you're tagging big, big names. Those names are mentioned in the diaries. You're tagging it to them, tagging it to PM of India, you're tagging to Home Minister of India, you're tagging to Nupur Prasad, you're tagging to all the big, big names, even Bollywood names. So if they are, if they feel that this is fake and this is not true, no one is voicing out. The why are
See,
some
this
people out there
silence,
questioning it? Yeah.
exactly, exactly. They are playing ostrich. Whosever names are coming out, or whomever authorities or agencies I'm tagging, they are playing ostrich. They are playing. They are closing their eyes, and they are maintaining silence. And we have a lot of people on YouTube. I don't know. Okay, you are a warrior. You kindly focus on what you can do for the justice movement. And one of the shows they tagged. I mean, they were trolling the diaries, saying that she will ultimately mislead people, and when they start believing her, in the end she will give the verdict of suicide. Come on, the diary is screaming murder. The, di- the diary
That's
is
funny.
screaming murder. I,
Yeah.
I mean, just to make people not leave the diaries and all,
Yeah.
they're giving such stupid logics. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, let us not just. I don't want to, focus more on such negative people trying to pull genuine efforts down. As it is, there
Yeah.
is a lot of work to be done. And Sushant's drives, let me tell you, Bachanji, 1 to 8, they are not in chronological order. And till we decode and open that slide, we don't know what are the contents in that slide.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, they
Okay.
are not in order. It's not like after first drive he has written the second, after the second. We don't know in which order. The second drive can be the last drive. So I really don't know. Only after I am decoding and decrypting it, then only I am coming to know what are the contents in that.
Okay. Okay.
So I
Yeah.
am not able to. So I am not able to maintain a chronological flow actually when I'm sharing things on the this thing. But yes, I do. I can tell one thing that once I am finished with all the decoding and all, I'll
Mm-hmm.
definitely put all together in a better presentable way as Sushant's
Mm-hmm.
works, where people can read his thoughts because he has sacrificed his life for the people. So people should know uh,
Yeah.
what a big sacrifice he has made and what was his vision for the country. Okay, so that's also in the plan. But only after I finish decoding all the drives, then only I can give it a shape, better presentable
Okay.
shape actually.
Yeah. There's a lot of effort, Dipti, to be very frank. Even with all this trolling and all, you never stop. You never at some point, some people will feel that, I'm trying to help you, nobody's appreciating, they'll just let it go. But you're not letting it go. So for that I really have to salute to you. Thank you so much for that. And continue fighting for justice, continue doing whatever you are doing. You are, to us, you are a tigress. The other point that I wanted to highlight to those people out there, there's one point that brought up by this girl, and I think which is a valid point. Look at the seriousness of the content in the diary. Sometimes people are talking about his grammar. Sushant, you see, when he write in a social media, he be careful of how he phrase his sentence. You be careful about the grammar. You be careful, how beautifully you should write it. But when you're writing a diary, probably in the middle of the night you're writing, you be careful. Anybody shouldn't see him, shouldn't catch him writing those contents. He be probably writing in a hurry. Nobody knows at what
Exactly.
state he was writing it. So why
Nobody
are you
knows.
going into, yeah.
And we don't know actually how he wrote this because this is not just one interface. It is not just one program that he has used. He has designed his own interface using 2 3 different programs, one MS-DOS, some word for processor, and some other things which I cannot reveal right now. Because let me tell you one thing, people are saying share the credentials. If I share, as I'm telling that there are 5 other copies of these drives, and I too strongly believe that CBI most probably has one copy of SSR drives.
Mm.
Okay.
I believe so,
Uh,
because if not, they would have came up to you by now asking you for the copy. So I believe they may probably having a copy too.
exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I can see actually. See, these all copies are connected to a common interface, the main interface.
Mm.
Okay, so yes, people have the agencies have a copy of these drives. I don't know how far they have been able to decode it and open it up. That is something which only they can answer. But this is the problem, Bachchan ji. I mean, no one from the agency or the authorities comes out and tells. Okay, comes
Yeah.
out and tells, and here people are running amok, creating different narratives. So they
Correct.
are allowing the confusion to prevail. They are allowing the confusion to prevail.
Could be, there could be a PR team out there to create such a confusion. You'll never know. But I strongly believe majority are believing the content. You see, put it this way: looking at the contents in Sushant Diaries, um, please explain, other than the content in the diary, what other reason or why other reason that they could have killed him. You know, looking at the content, you can actually say, oh,
Exactly.
probably, yeah. Then what other reason that he need to be taken off? So concentrate on the content, and like the girl said, there's some seriousness in the contents. It need to be shared. It need to be exposed, which is what DPG is doing now. Doesn't have her own channel for to put up this video and say I have these diaries to get followers, to get subscribers. She's not even doing it in her own channel. She's actually going on other people's channel. She's not benefiting in any way. The only thing that she's taking, that she's sacrificing is actually her time. She have to decode. She have to utter all these people in tweeters. So please, please, please. I mean, those people who do not believe, then don't watch. If you think that it's okay to ask questions, it's okay to have doubts. You can ask questions, but don't go to the extent of you know um, saying someone is fake. Saying a lot of things over. I think that's not right.
Anyway, I mean, a lot of people will obviously the names which I am taking, they won't be coming and trolling me. So they are big people. They have their own IT cells to look after their image and all. So I can understand the opposition and the criticism that is coming.
Yeah, yeah.
And I am prepared for it. Bachanji, if you remember last time when you and Mitraji were there, I told that
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting much more criticism. I mean, it has not yet started. I think it will start. So it has started now. Okay,
Yeah,
so it has started. It will, and I'm prepared. I'm see all they can do is come and troll on social media, right?
yeah, correct.
All they can do is comment on social media. Now, some good things are happening because of this movement and all, people raising voices and all. The Indian High Court or the Supreme Court is thinking of live streaming the court proceedings. I
Okay.
just pray to God this happens. I just
Yeah,
pray to God
correct.
this happens, that I will provoke people to file a case against me in that case. At least that way, I will be allowed to, fight the case. Fight the case in the court, right, and give the proofs. I'm just
No, I'm
waiting.
waiting. I'm waiting for not
Yeah,
this. I'm waiting for live case like Sushant's case, Jakan's
yeah,
case.
live
I need
streaming,
or Sri's
live
case.
streaming. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a big
No,
thing that
these two.
happens.
No, these two is also facing a lot of opposition. Recently,
Mm-hmm.
Odisha High Court decided. Yeah, the CJI of Orissa High Court decided to live stream the court proceedings. But which people had the most problem with it, and who went on strike? The Lawyers Association. They don't want to.
Okay.
It will be direct hit to the stomach. They
Yeah,
can't
correct.
drag or delay the cases, or they can. So the lawyers are having the most problem with the proceedings getting live streamed.
Yeah. I would say this would be one step towards justice, if we go live stream.
Exactly, but
A
that too
better,
is
better
facing a lot of
justice.
problems. Yeah,
Okay.
that too is facing a lot of problems, not from anyone else, but the practitioners of law, the lawyers themselves.
I mean, understandable why they're protesting.
Exactly. Like, see, many people want to do, some people are there as lawmakers also who want to do a lot of good. Like, we have Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagan Reddy. He had transformed the government schools to the standard of private schools. He had wanted to do that, but then he faced a lot of opposition from the education mafia.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are you getting me? Even if the government wants to raise the standards of the government schools, the private sector will not allow them to function smoothly.
Mm, correct. Agree with you.
So here too, yeah. So these things are happening. And any other question, Bachanji? Before I just because there are some very big names that are coming today from the
Yeah,
last time
okay.
I left.
Can.
Yeah.
Very, very. Probably can just quickly answer that. There are some followers of mine kept asking, is there any update on Sri Devi?
Sri Devi's case, I would rather that people hear about it from themselves. In the ICJ, the proceedings have been suspended till September because of this COVID situation and shortage of manpower. Okay,
Okay.
and what else is happening? I would rather that people believe it from some other source than me. Okay,
Okay.
the case is very much alive. It's not that it has gone into the cold storage or something, but at this point of time I would not like to discuss till something comes out on its own, and very soon it should happen. Fingers
Okay.
crossed.
Okay. Can. That's all, Dipti. Can start the slides. Yeah.
Yeah, Mitraji just commented that there should be a recording of the post-mortem, right? this
Yeah. Yeah.
point
This one.
this
Yeah.
point no one is raising. This point no one is raising. Yes, it is the protocol that every postmortem should first be the entry. The entry of the postmortem should be in the health ministry records. No one can do postmortem like that. Okay, the entry has to be there in the health ministry records, and it has to be videographed. The entire postmortem
Right.
procedure has to be videographed. Okay, so if the authorities or the agencies wanted to solve the case, they would have started there itself.
Correct.
And the photograph itself, the one or two photographs that have surfaced, okay, like Rabia ji did. She just showed the photographs to some forensic experts, like independent experts. So
Yeah.
even if even you or me or anyone, if someone knows an honest forensic, so you should show it to them. Just by looking at them, they can say that there has been foul play because there are clear injury marks on his body. There are stun
Mm.
gun marks and the ligature mark, that hanging mark. It is not
Yeah.
consistent with hanging.
Correct. The leg is broken.
So the photograph,
No.
yeah, the photograph itself speaks a lot of things. And if the CBI, if the authorities or the agencies really wanted to solve this case, then they would have, looking at the photograph itself, they would have started inquiry and called the culprits for questioning. But here the will is missing actually. Will is missing. It is only the people who have kept this movement alive. Otherwise, this too, like many other deaths before, this too would have been brushed aside like suicide. And let us not forget that right before or after Sushant's death, around Sushant's death, 14 to 15 of his friends, of his close circle, they too died mysteriously.
Yeah. Correct. Correct. Yeah. Which he have
Okay.
kept. Yeah. Which he have kept mentioning in his diary that his team. You see.
Yes, he has been mentioning about his team. Special mention he has made to Sandeep Nahar and Asif Basra and Disha,
Mm. Mm. Okay.
and these three are no more.
Yeah. Okay. We shall start with the slides today.
Yeah, last time I think I left at Anil Ambani, right?
Yeah.
We
Correct.
covered. Yeah. Okay. From there,
Yeah.
I will continue, Bachchanji. Okay.
Okay.
Any question? Kindly stop me in between. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Neera Modi. Do I even need to write about this? Yes, I need to, because this man is another name and an important name, not just for the case that is on him, but the way this man's name is connected to the many Ponzi schemes that came and went and are running in our country. This man was an important link to a lot of them, and he, with Mehul, have been very instrumental in executing this to perfection. This is one big reason he escaped and was led to escape. As I have said earlier, the agencies, according to me and my intellect, are well aware of all this, but act indifferent because sometimes I feel their hands too are tied. Because these people have some fathers who are well connected to the top level and can potentially create havoc in the life of people who want to challenge them. This has been quite adamant in the past and is continuing to date. When I met someone around this, he clearly said that Nirav had made plans of running away from some time. And he was in constant touch with some people about this. And I have heard him speak to people and sounding satisfied and relaxed. Once he was done with the conversation, he was blackmailing someone in the topmost position, and that helped him get away. When I asked him for details, he just said, I'm not sure who on the other line was because I could only hear to one side of the conversation. But once such conversation, just a second. But once his conversation, which I remember, which was just a week before he escaped, he clearly said to the other person he was speaking on the call, I will go inside, and I am sure to make it easy for me inside. But your chair is totally white, and there is not a single black spot on it. If I take your name when I am asked, then all these years of your hard work, where you have ensured that all that you have done is not out to the public to know, if I take names, you yourself know what that can do to your image. After that, it was just fillers, what Niravji used on calls, and then he said one final line. Fine, I will give you the 15 days you have asked for, but I should not be harassed or taken to task. And if you want to play foul, let me tell you upfront, I am going to expose you and I will not think for another second before I do. For the common man, the main thing he should be concerned about, yes, is his family. But in today's situation, this nexus is a big question mark on that very family of his. And when this is brought to his knowledge, his default reaction should be strike back. But that strike back has to be channelized and should not be a blind one with aggression. It should rather be well controlled one, where he does not invite any legal implications on him. Hence, getting this matter out in the right way and making sure that the society gets the right message, and also this doesn't instigate anyone to take a wrong step, is also a huge responsibility, which I have to ensure that I do it to perfection. Tomorrow, if someone does something wrong, and even for 1/10 of it, the droplets hit on me, I would not be able to forgive myself. While trying to tame a monster and finishing it, we should not end up creating more monsters. This is a very important issue that needs to be addressed. Yes, but while trying to solve the issue, we all need to ensure, be careful that we ourselves do not end up being even a bigger issue. The journey so far has been very challenging, and we managed to pull it this long itself is a big achievement on my part and the part of my team. And I keep telling them, we are just there, that all our efforts will soon get results. I will ensure that I will have that one final meeting to decide who plays what role before I come out in the open. I will have to pick on a date, and we all should work around that date and ensure the process of how we come out with this info is the biggest ask. And I have my options to do it, and I will do it the same way as it should be done. But yes, when we work in a team, I'm sorry. But yes, when we work in a team, when there are more than one people involved in something, and when it is a teamwork, it becomes really important to ask the opinion of people who have been there from the very beginning to ensure that we all are on the same page. The face, yes, is important, and the person who shall come out and speak to is important. But what is equally more important is the people backstage and the people who have stood as your support more than once. What generally happens is that when we get to it, sometimes on the verge of getting it done sooner or more effectively, we tend to forget to discuss. This is one huge mistake that can cost any mission very clearly, very dearly. Because if the team is in the dark and you end up getting stuck at a point, you will not have any backup and no one can do anything for you. So it is very important that the people who are with you since the very beginning know each and every step of yours, so that if something happens to the face of the mission, someone from the backstage can chip in and help this face get out of the problem. But this will only happen if the team is well informed about what the situations are and where exactly do we stand. This team for me is fixed, and I shall keep them in the loop for every step I shall take. And yes, we all know when we try and start this, death would be right there staring us, and we could be put to rest like how others had been in the past. But this time, if this happens, this will not end like how it did for others. This work of mine will trigger that spark in someone or everyone, and this mission will restart again. This work will do most of the things for the start, but the only thing that should be taken care is execution. As I have explained, my backup plan too is ready. But if this reaches into someone's hands who can do something positive around it, as I have spoken about it in the past, the person will have two options. Though he will not be knowing who is watching him, if that person's actions match his intent, he will have full support from my team, or my backup team will start this as soon as the issue is forgotten. And why we are doing this, I have already explained it in detail in the past slides. I do not think any further addition to that is needed. So when these names come out, I'm sure there will be a huge risk factor just after the names coming out or just before I go ahead to bring them out. And I am prepared for it. For all the sad things that have happened in the past, these people need to be punished. And I shall make sure that these people are not spared. Bring them out in the public, expose their faces, and then sit back and see how it goes for a major part of the exposed journey. This is going to be my plan, and we shall work around it to ensure that we achieve the desired result. This is what we will do, and hopefully achieve our victory. One more thing that we all need to be aware and very careful about is that these people will be all around you. can be with you in any form, and you actually might end up finding that the person who was once your best trusted buddy ends up being the person who is on the other side, like how it happened to me with Dino Bhai. I'm sorry, I need to write about him here, as he was one big asset in our team, and he was always up to the right thing. But one thing he did today, I was actually confused. Should I be discussing anything any further with him? And why did he do it? I was totally in shock. But then, after all that I have seen and gone through, the one thing that I have learned is that the only person who will always stand with you, come what may, is one, you yourself. And second, if any pet you have, like my fudge, no one else will actually stand with you till the end, because everyone has a breaking point, a point where they can be sold. And if we go in the words of these people who always say that everyone is here and is meant to be sold, the only difference is the right price tag that needs to be paid. So if we go by this theory and this baseline of the nexus, then everyone is out there to be sold. And the only person who cannot be sold and do injustice to you is you yourself. It becomes very important that you be very careful around this and don't trust anyone so much that if they turn their backs on you, you fall weak. Everything is important, but what is most important is self backup, and this has to be maintained come what may. Dino Morio. All my failures, all the questions that I had in my mind, that despite doing everything to perfection, why is it that I'm facing failure more often than not? Why is it that most of my plans leak out? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? So many more incidents to add. And the one answer to that is this man, who actually was the person who was playing both sides. How did I find out? That was a very interesting story. And I shall tell you here because I personally feel you should keep doing these background checks every once in a while so that you will be well aware of what is happening around you and what are the corrective measures you need to implement so that you always have the upper hand and can come out of this, because once you start your journey against them, this is bound to happen. And this without fail will happen. So, what I did was I gave different information to different people around me and waited to see what will come back to me. And the information that came back to me from Mahesh Bhatt was my action plan, which I shared with Dino Bhai. Not that I feel this is too quick, I am judging him, but then what connected instantly was the actions that took place in the past and failed. With the help of some friends of Disha, we got to his call records. And there lied the real story. This man, Dino, had been in constant touch with everyone who was on our list and was giving out informations to them. I don't know what was the context of the calls, but when I matched those records with mine, the calls that he had made was always like just before I received a call or just after I have made a call. And this sequence was more common when he was not with me. When he was with me too, as a matter of shock for me, if I now go back and think, this man, if my calculations are not wrong, was making sure that his phone was on the speaker mode whenever he was around me, and every word I spoke to him had made its way out there. This here I need to bow my head down and thank Mahadev, my guide, who always came to me in one form or the other whenever I needed him and was always there for me. Though my intention was something else, that intention itself came as a blessing in disguise for me. I wanted to make sure that my main backup, the person who would actually take me out of any issue that I am to face, should not be known to the rest of the team. And let me make one thing clear here. This was not the only man. I will explain it in detail a little later because that will need one whole slide for it. And I did not introduce him to anyone except Sandeep and Asif Bhai. But I will keep them in the loop now so that even they will be a little wary around this man. And we should carefully plan to distance ourselves from this person. The man who was shedding crocodile tears now is out in the open. And his intentions too, I need to now do some damage control. Not that much damage is done, That one habit of mine saved me big time today, where I always used to tell him that, brother, not this time, or rather, it's not time now. I just don't know why I kept doing it. But when I got to know what this person really is, I don't know whom to thank. But yes, whatever happened, there was no much damage, and we all need to carefully ensure that we part our ways with him, but in a way where he should not know that we are parting ways with him. This is very important, else they will come back with someone else. And from now on, the one thing I need to do is stop having new people in the team. He took some names which I have omitted here, Bachchanji. Okay. Dash, 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 dash,
Okay.
dash, dash, dash. Yeah. Dash, 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 dash are my real team. And I am very sure these are the only people I can bank on, because every passing day, one or the other in this world is showing his true color. And this is very, very sad and pathetic, that a person who wanted to expose the wrongs in the industry because they messed up with his career, is this in reality? No doubt. Why Asif Bhai always used to say, Astin ka samp, Astin ka samp. Now I feel I should sometime take some honest suggestions too. And I'm blessed to have a person like Asif Bhai in my team. Now, if I go back and replay why I was never so comfortable with Dino around, if I put it out in this way, I will not be wrong if I say that though my conscious mind didn't take it seriously, those words from Asif Bhai got stored in my subconscious mind. And my subconscious mind, unknowingly to me, was sending those signals to my brain, so that I was always a little careful around this man, Dino. If science has to be applied here. But if I go by my belief, then it was my Jatadhari Adiyogi who was guiding me and making sure that I was not trapped into these people's web. With this said and done, now let me get back to explain what I had left in my earlier slide, where I said this is not the only man. The thing is like this. When I had made an action plan to decide who all would be my backups when I lose the track, the main people I blindly trusted on were Disha, Asif Bhai, Sandeep, and two others who are not big names. So even if I take them out here, you might end up confusing them for someone else. So let's keep it as this for now. So this was my main team who always I used to share anything and everything that had to be planned. Then there was the other team who was given the task to sit back and watch, and that had Dash in it. So I was quite sure of that team too. This was my arrangement, which actually saved me most of the times. And even today, when this shock hit me like a thunder strike and gave me a quick reality check, the first thing that struck my mind was, thank God, I have my backups in place. Because this man's face coming out means they are right in my close circle, are deep inside now, are deep inside. Now, this can actually make me lose trust on everyone. But that should not be the case here, because the people who are with me from the beginning have always stood by me and will continue to stand. This taught me a lesson that I can keep adding people into this mission, but I should not trust most of them. It should be like I should now learn to actually make that judgment whose company I enjoy to spend time with and whom I can trust. I will ask the rest of them to follow the same too, because at this point, this is what we all should practice and implement. It can never be that someone whose company you enjoy can be trustworthy, and this we need to quickly learn. The main task and the first thing that I will have to do starting immediately is turn my clock backwards and start from the time I got in touch with this Dino. Sit back and see what all info he has given me and what all info I have shared with him. Make notes of everything and then come back to the present and see what exactly is the stand and how do we need to proceed further. One thing for sure is that no real damage is done, but I don't know why, if I do not do this reality check now, when I come out with my exposures, if somewhere I'm going to fall flat on my face, then it will be because of this person, Dino. It's better safe than to be sorry. A stitch in time saves nine. So the first thing I will do almost instantly now is work on this and then come to a conclusion as to what has to be done. This audit is very, very important, because without this, if I proceed, I might put the entire mission under risk. To the person who is reading this, The only humble request I have to make is that do not repeat the mistakes I have made. Keep checking on yourself and the people around you. And always be sure of whom you are talking, what you are talking, and why you are talking when you interact with people. The only thing you need to make sure is that you have an open mind, you only listen and not react, just make notes and just nod. And once you're out of the place and have a detached mind, only then decide what you want to do and how it has to be done. The biggest mistake one does is when he feels that he knows everything. Till you reach the end of it and get the job done, you know nothing. And once you have achieved your goal, you are still learning. This is what your path and action plan should be all about. It is very easy for everyone to make sure that the least expected level of getting a job done is to understand that things are not as easy as they look to be. And in order to do this, you need to fight a lot of battles, some within yourself, some against the world. And the only way you can come out of it is never make a decision when you are in two minds. Because if you actually decide when you are in two minds, you will end up messing everything altogether. And this in itself is the biggest mistake we do. I know I am writing a lot about it almost in every instance. Whatever I want to speak out, the fact is that I have to make sure I share everything that has happened and what I have gone through. Because this is how your journey too will be. And you need to be better prepared to face all the consequences that come as a package along with it. This is a total summary of the names that I have encountered so far, and I will ensure that I will go ahead in the journey. Now let's get into the other aspect of it and talk about the queens. I had made a mention of the queens, and these are a few queens whom I have shortlisted after making sure I have done some research around it. Kapil Sharma. From a nobody to the Kapil Sharma show, this man's journey looks like a typical rags to riches kind of a story. But that is not true. This man is one of the mainstays when it comes to the drug business. And if you closely follow his pattern and the way he works on the garb of this show, a lot of meeting a lot of meeting around where to collect and how much to collect is decided. And it's from here the entire thing is done. Not just this, some other shows too play a major role, but this show in particular, because three of the main kingpins who are deeply involved in drugs or some other kind of funny and confusing activities form a elite part of the panel. And today, when I am writing this, I myself am not sure how true my calculations will be. But I'm sure the future will open up the Pandora box and all these people will be exposed in one way or the other. And the three people who around the needle of suspicion swings is Kapil Sharma, Bharati, and Navjot Singh Sidhu. I quite sure of the trial. I'm quite sure of the trial. Navjot Singh Sidhu not in the drugs angle, but the other angle where he is believed to be the political clown, the person who has made a mess of himself right from the days of his cricketing career to his current career. He is one person who initially spat venom on Congress, only to join them later on. And everyone knows how quickly this man can change his statements in order to make sure that this under table deals that were happening on the name of the show, the games were this. The games were this beautifully, the Punjab floods, and every other thing which Kapil was linked with is a deep, deep controversy in itself. And I shall get back to it in detail. Once Disha is done with what she is doing, now the only thing that is running on my mind is that how do we conclude on what has to be done here? Because there is some dirty secrets hidden there. And most of the times when I try and get to the root of this drug angle, one name that comes out in the open is Bharti Singh. Is this woman framed into it or she is involved? I have to wait out. But the prima facie, what looks to the naked eye, says she has a deep, deep involvement in it, and this is what is clear and evident. Arjun Rampal and Meher Jasia, the king of drugs. I would not be wrong if I term him this right from his pubs in Delhi to his daily activities. I have made a mention of it in the past, but now it's confirmed. These are social drug addicts. and dealers. The reason for the divorce too is right around one settlement, which the missus wanted it to be something else, but the mister settled for something else. Doubt me, you always can. But just do a small background check on the girl the mister is currently dating. You will have the entire picture in front of you in black and white. Probably this is one pair whom we can call the silent assassins. They do not hog on to much of a limelight, but prefer to work in silence. If you want to know the reality of his pubs and the nightlife or the sunset life, where was that? Yeah. Or the sunset life that happens there, ask the low level staff there. They stand witness for a lot of things. And it's up to you and your skill how and what you do to make them open up in front of you. They will not kick their stomachs to answer you. But if the right questions are put in the right way, with some incentive, of course, you will find a lot of answers where you can study and get to understand how this man has been doing his business and how he has managed to be in the loop from the time he started. If insiders are to be believed and some of my own personal experiences, this man has earned hues through these pubs of his and is continuing to mint and is closely connected to some big names, so has managed to stay at large till now. This is the irony. There are evidences and proof, but the connections these people have, there is no answer for it. How some of these people sell themselves for just handful of money. This is the biggest irony and sorry state of affairs too. Now this Arjun Rampal is that kind of a queen who can be called in common terms as the stockist. He is the stock point from where the collections are made, and his pubs are the prime spots where all these deals happen. My team is on it to try and study the modus. Once that is done, I will make sure I will mention about it in detail too. And then we shall prepare a strong file on this man too. I have nothing against him and had admired him for some time in my initial days too. But now when I look back, I might have to sing the same song again. But I have to make it up again that I feel everyone was cheated of their emotions and whatnot. These kind of people are a shame on the society, and this has to stop. The only reason Arjun is able to roam around freely is because he is closely connected to some big names in Delhi. And my team is on it to find out who the people are. And as I said, for now, this is still in the primary stages, wherein we will have to wait for the end result. And I'm sure I will get to the end result soon because these people are the ones who are actually spreading shit in the society. Ashish Chaudhary. Small name, but big contact list. This man, I'm not sure here again, but one person who was with him says he is the victim of a fraud. But some others say if he was a victim of a fraud, how could he continue to lead the same lavish lifestyle which he always did? Now, when I sit back and think and cry and do my own study on it, it is very, very clear that this man was in some way or the other equally a culprit, and as it always is, the best way out was chosen by filing a case in the court. I would be too early to speak around this for now, but this person too has a huge hand in the drugs racket and has been around the corner when controversies made their way out. I sometimes feel I might be wrong in this case, but most of the indicators and the indications that I have got have a different story to tell. However, my team member is on the task and I need to wait for him to finish so that I can actually make sure I will get the job done a little sooner. But yes, unless we have those things which can speak, we cannot do nothing. Because this society today has become such where in it's the truth that has to answer the questions and the lies have a free flow everywhere. This is the harsh reality and we have to somehow set things back on track. Ranveer Singh, one name who was very small in the beginning but quickly grew up the ranks and now has made a name for himself, is one of the most hunted person when it comes to the drugs angle of it. I'm not sure here how the connection is being established, but one thing for sure is that a lot of happenings around Tamil Nadu and Bangalore, this man is in total control of it. And this needs to be investigated thoroughly. Before I conclude on it, and as always, the girl from down there is on the task. And I shall soon conclude on how the network is established. But one thing is for sure here, that the women power, Deepika, Rakul Preet, and some others whom I am still not been able to establish connection with, play a major role here. And one thing that is quite clear is that Ria too is a close associate in this group. And this is how they function. Some names are in the list for the same, but for now there is nothing against them which can be proved as conclusive evidence. So we have to wait out for Disha to get the things that are needed and then conclude on to what we have to do as our next course of action. This is indeed a very, very interesting angle because this is where connection to Bollywood and sports can be made too. And this on itself, once I get to the roots of it, I will also make a detailed report on why Lalit Modi escaped and how a huge issue, which is a huge cancer on the nation, was covered and covered in such a way that nothing ever happened. It started with the Harbhajan Singh slapgate, and the issue was buried down very, very quickly. And the thing around this issue is so deep that unless I am more than 100% sure that I have the right set of information, it would be foolish on my side to open up on it. But one thing is for sure, Shah Rukh Khan, Preeti Zinta, Shilpa Shetty, and Juhi Chawla. There is something huge here. And the only way the thing can be out in the public is once we have reached the roots of it. And if my calculations are not wrong, now, now after getting to learn some more things around it, the only question now that is making out in my mind is that was the match fixing scandal just an eyewash? Anyways, I got to wait out for Disha to get back on this so that I get to know the whole story. The truth is that the truth is that the relationship Deepika had with Sid Malia is the key from where all this started, and most of them are closely connected around this. I am just short of evidences here to expose this angle, but have complete trust on the team working on this, and the exposures will happen as soon as I get to the root of it. And this news for sure will hit hard because if I have to believe some people who actually spoke out, top politicians too are involved, and the names will soon follow. I'm so much in confusion that how these people and the same set of them are there everywhere. And the biggest shame is that these people actually don't have a spine and are highly insecure and still are ruling over us. Common man, wake up. These people are not strong. It's your fear that is making them strong. These people are so insecure that even if 1% of their images comes on the radar, they will spend money like the water flowing in the river to save it. So this, your biggest test, do those notes, stitch your mouths like it has done in the past for so many people who stood up, but then had their own agenda around it, or you will fight it out. Do not get confused here. I am spilling any dirt on the real noble souls who had laid down their lives on the path of truth. But there are some names who have acted to be activists and now were silent when their due was received. There are these people too who had their own agenda and have done under the table deals. Some names are in my eyes, but I will open up once I get ready for it. The chapter on these exposures comes to an end over here for now because I need to add in a lot of time to get to some details before I continue. Get to these informations which I should before I open up because indicators and truth can be two different things. And for me, before I begin this, I need to ensure that I am more than double sure that I have not missed any angle. Because once I start, there would be no looking back. And one small mistake I do is enough for my downfall. Errors happen, but the biggest curse on anyone is that if you do 999.99% things right, the people remember and hold on to that 0.001% thing where you lost the track. And this should not happen in this case. Because once I start, there will be criticism from every angle, from every place. And this is what I know for sure. And if I make one mistake, that mistake would be more than enough for the rest whole of my hard work to go down the drain and me ending up on the losing side. So Bachchanji, would you like to say something?
Yeah,
In which
I was actually listening to you, Dipti ji. I realized something. I mean, we all have suspected all the way what is the link between Disha
Hmm?
Salian and Sushant's death. But seems like Disha Salian seems to know a lot of
Hmm?
information which she have been sharing with Sushant, and she's part of the team. So it shows clearly why there was a death of Sushant after her death. So they are in a team. Of course, the other names are not well-known names. A lot of people do not know who they are. But Disha Salian, I think she works with the Cornerstone and she knows a lot of. She's a manager for
She is,
Aishwarya Rai.
yeah,
So
she is, yes, yes, she is the celebrity manager for quite a few celebrities, including Aishwarya Rai, and
yeah,
obviously she has inside information.
yeah,
And as Sushant had mentioned earlier, that she was someone who said that she will help him with the details on her own accord,
yeah, yeah,
Disha.
yeah. Another person who
And when we
we should
even
salute
look at
to. Yeah.
her,
Another person we
yes,
should
yes, I mean, these
salute
are
to.
all unsung. Disha, Sandeep Nahar, Asif. Okay,
Yeah,
there are many people, there are many unsung heroes who have been killed, who have sacrificed their lives trying to bring the truth out. We don't even know their names.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
going ahead in your next session or some Bachchanji, I will read another slide wherein he mentions about that hit and run case. Sushant mentions about that hit and run case, where he says that
yeah.
everyone knows about Ravindra Patel. Where he says that everyone knows about Ravindra Patel, but what no one knows is that along with Ravindra Patel, another person who took the name of Salman Khan being behind the wheel was Daya Shankar, some Daya Shankar. And this
I,
person, after a couple of months, was found dead on the railway tracks. And we all know what happened with Ravindra Patel.
hmm. Is this a person that he
And some,
refused to change his statement, even though he was told to change the statement?
yes, yes. He says
Yeah,
that two people in the hit and run case, that is Ravindra Patel and Daya Shankar. Daya Shankar is someone we don't know anything about because there has been no news about it. That's what I come to know once I read these slides.
yeah.
Bachchanji, your voice is not, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm just clearing my throat. Yeah, I saw
So,
a video on that about this person, how sadly he actually died.
yeah, I mean, he was thrown out of the force, I believe.
Yeah,
He was a
it's
police
really,
constable
really sad.
who he was a police constable who didn't change his statement.
Yeah,
He was
correct.
thrown off the force, and he was isolated. I mean, he was isolated. No one bothered about him. I don't know the full story, but it's really sad looking at his pictures how he ended up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Totally malnourished, and this is sad actually. This is really sad. Where should we go? See, this
yeah,
is, let me tell everyone here that this is not some rocket science that the CBI is not able to solve the cases. The proofs
yeah,
are staring on the face. Okay, even the common man can say, CBI being such a federal, I mean, one of the best agencies of the country, if this is the example it is setting, take Zia Khan's case 9 years, and after 9 years it says that it doesn't have the evidence with it.
yeah, correct.
I mean, why are we taking it? See, we have been taking this. We all know these things. We all know that this is how the system works. Even in Bachchanji, I will tell you, recently a report came out which says that around 4 crore cases are pending in the Indian courts. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and if at the present rate they are working, if it continues, it will take another 324 years to clear all the backlog.
Hmm.
324
Oh
years to clear all
gosh.
the backlog.
Yeah.
If this is the
With
rate
the
it comes.
three.
So what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if the judiciary, if the law enforcement agencies, if the lawmakers, everyone is malfunctioning, where will the common man go? Who will the common man look up to? That
Yeah.
means anyone
Yeah.
having any sort of connections, anyone having any sort of connections connections, they will get away doing any kind of crime.
And those who don't have any connection will not even dare to voice out. You
Yeah,
know?
if some insane people like me voice out, they end up facing all this trolling and bullying and threatening.
But Deepti ji, one thing I have to highlight again. You see, a lot of people actually look up to you. In fact, I could be just going on my channel and reading the slides myself, but when you read it, it takes a lot of weightage. They only want to hear it from you, so which shows clearly that how much they actually trust you. So don't worry. You know.
So I just wish when I read, I just wish if somehow it could have been told in Sushant's voice, it would have been much. If people could hear in his voice, it was his work. Of course,
Yeah.
once I compile it after all the decoding is done and all, and I present it in a better, maybe I will make a website which can't be pulled down and sort of audiobook along with the text scrolling and all. It will be placed in order. But first, let me get done with the works on hand. Um,
Mhm.
so let's
Mhm.
see, because this is something which should reach everyone. It should reach
Yeah.
everyone.
Correct. Correct. In fact, though I mean you're reading it, I can actually feel him. You know, whenever you read those certain it's somehow it's like Sushant. You know, trying to expose a lot of things which you have been knowing for a very long time, mentioning a lot of names. A lot of big names actually was mentioned in tonight's slides too. Quite actually shocking too. Mm.
This is really very sad. I mean, be it, forget about common man. Common man comes somewhere far off. If a celebrity like Sushant, if a celebrity like Sridevi, if a celebrity like Jia Khan, Divya Bharti, Parvin Bhabi, Gulshan Kumar, I mean, they get killed if they try to expose you, no matter however big a star they are. And if their death can be brushed under the carpet like this, what sort of a system is governing the countries? What sort of the system is running in the countries?
Yeah.
Are the judiciary and the law enforcement agencies here to protect the criminals or to protect the interests of the common man?
Which is why I'm amazed why the case is running is more than a year now and nothing, no, not any kind of news. And I also understand the family can't say anything because this case is under investigation. They can't say anything at all. But I really, I mean, for people like us, like yourself or anybody, when we are feeling so much of Sushan, imagine what kind of what the family is going through. Their dear son or the
See,
dear
one thing,
brother.
yeah, one thing I would like to say here is that about the family. Okay, it's very easy to say that why is the family not coming forward and anything. But yes, of course, I too am confused about the open support that Shweta Sanketi is giving, showing towards Sankita and all that stuff. But see, in a family, family doesn't just consist of one member. Okay, family, you have father, you have sisters, you have the sisters' families, extended family as well, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know we don't know what sort of pressure they are in. We have a commissioner in the family, we have two advocates in the family.
Mm.
Okay, so we actually don't know what sort of threat they are in, or are they being kept an eye on, are their actions being controlled as well. See, because it is very easy for this nexus to control the actions of the family. There are hardly some 4 or 5 people, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know till the family comes out and tells openly. We should not accuse them of anything or make any sort of judgments, because we don't know what sort of threat or pressure they are going through.
Correct. So the sad part is how long is the family going to wait? It's more than a year wait. It's a painful wait for them. And how long are they going to? It's like you're not getting any closure to this whole case, and I mean rightful closure, I would say. And they can't move on. That's another thing. So I really hope that the uh, the the legal system in India would speed up such a case, which where a big profile person have been actually killed, and a lot of evidence, like what you say, is staring at them, but
No, one more
nobody
thing
is
I would
saying
like to
anything.
tell here, Bachchanji, we have been talking about family. We have been talking about me, myself. I have been talking about Sushant. I have been talking about Sridevi. But one thing I want to talk some harsh reality here. Even for us, the common people, regret is stronger than support during lifetime. Let us imagine Sushant had come out and started talking about these things. His career and everything would have been sidelined, and he would have been isolated like Parveen Bhabhi. Parveen Bhabhi, when she came out, did anyone care about what she was saying? She came out and told in the interview of Shekhar Suman that she was planning to go to Supreme Court to submit evidences on the TADA regarding the again some.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Bachchan, yeah. So if he was alive, I think he tried to send some feelers when he was alive through social media as well. He told something about he needed help, he needed support. Okay, and soon after that, or around that time, I think this blame game started, that he was a womanizer and Me Too allegation and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, if Sushant had been alive today and if he wanted to come out and tell, how many people would have supported him
Actually, it's a very
before
good
he
point,
could? Yeah,
It's a
before he could
very good
get the
point.
people to get,
Yeah,
before he could get people to agree and listen to. Before that, so many campaigns would have been run against him
yeah.
that people would have started ignoring him. I will just ask this one question to everyone. If Sushant had been alive, and if he had even told 1%, come out in the open with 1% of what he has written or researched on, what would have happened in that case? The media would have boycotted him on the instructions of these people. Okay, they would have started a malicious campaign against him, and people will believe whatever is appearing in the media time and again, right? So he would have
Correct.
been easily sidelined.
Yeah. In fact, if he's alive and he would have said it, I don't think people would be believing him the way we are believing what is being shared on social media, because something terrible have happened to him. Like what you said,
Exactly.
Parveen Babi and all that. No, but at this point, there's he actually the family. I think 3 months or 2 months before they did speak to the maid, approach the police officer to say that Sushant is getting threat calls, or he's something about some complaint was actually made before he died, but nothing was done. Do you remember the part that 3 months, 2 months before he went on isolation from the family, and the family is worried about him and that he's getting threat calls and all that. There was a report made, but no action was taken.
So
So
no action
similar
was
to that.
taken because because Bachchanji, we have unfortunately names are coming out of police personnel like Paramveer Singh and Vajay, and even the Home Minister. If they act as extortionists, what sort of justice can you expect from them? And Sushant also in his slides he has written that he had approached, he had met Paramveer Singh 4 times. Okay, and he had started sharing some things with him, but what he shared with Paramveer Singh went to Mahesh Bhatt. Okay,
Hmm. Okay.
so and another, and some of it is not mentioned in these slides, but what reports I have heard is that he did go to a police station to complain in Mumbai, and he was beaten in the police station itself.
Oh, okay.
So I see, if this is how I don't understand.
It's really scary because, I mean, probably the prominent figure or even a common man, who knows some kind of truth, some kind of terrible thing is happening around him or his life is threat. You're living in a country where you do not, excuse me, you're living in a country where you're afraid to even speak out or tell anybody. And the security of the country, police officer, even they, you can't approach them. It's very scary, Deepti. It's really scary.
Unfortunately, it is a scary situation, and that's why he was so worried, being an influencer
Deepti, I can't hear you. DPG, are you there? You're frozen. I can't hear you. DPG, please excuse my throat. I'm having a bad throat. Let's wait for the comeback. Deepti ji, are you there? Can you hear me? I think tonight Deepti ji have read quite a bit of slides and she have revealed a lot of names. A lot of names have been exposed in today's Sushant's diary. Deepti ji, can you hear me? Okay, we lost her. Okay, we are almost wrapping up. So if she come back, we'll probably do the conclusion and we will exit. But please excuse me, having a very dry throat for past 4 months. It's been there, not going on. But sadly, there's no justice yet. But let's hope and pray that he'll get justice. To know that he went to police station to make a report and he was beaten up in the police station, as what was shared by Dipti ji. It's it's really scary. How would a common man feel? How would a foreigner who lands in the country, who probably in some kind of trouble, how would they feel? Will they daringly walk into the police station hoping that they will get some kind of protection? When you hear this kind of stories, it's really, really scary. And I do not know whether she's coming back, but she have already read quite a bit of slides. If she's not coming back, we'll probably wait for her about 2-3 minutes. If she's not, then probably I'll make an exit. Yeah, I guess she exposed such important information and then she lost connection. She left us. Okay, let's just read those messages coming in. Purima Devi, thanks for your messages. You've been writing quite a bit of comments. Thanks for your comments. Mitra, of course. Meenakshi, let's read the next one. I thought whole Maha government cheating people and underworld mafia also, as I said, that it is a very big group. People's only whole hand and that group scared. Otherwise, no single man touch gang. Well, that's a worry we all have. The other thing also can be seen in today's diary when she read is we all know that Disha Salian have been talking to Sushant. What we knew is the night event that happened, whatever happened in that bungalow, and Disha Salian was killed that night. She shared what happened to her to Sushant after that she was killed. So we all thought in the beginning that it's because of that particular incident that happened and something she knew happened that night. She has shared with Sushant, and that's why Sushant have been killed. But the thing here is, it's not only that. Disha Salian seems to have known a lot of information because she worked with celebrities too, and she have sharing and such a nice person she is. She have been sharing those information with Sushant with the thought of exposing these people too. Let's. Hi, Dipti ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, Bachchanji. Yes, can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, I
Yeah.
can hear you clearly. You're saying something, and then it was frozen, so I couldn't hear you at all. Now I can't
Yeah,
recall
what
what you
was
were
it?
saying last. I was
Yeah, I too forgot.
oh yeah, he we were talking about the after his coming back, we beaten up in the police station and talking about the justice and a common man is a worrying and all that. I do not know which part you were frozen actually. Can you remember? I also can't remember. But it's more for common people to be very worried of what happening in that place, and they can't come up and speak out the truth. This is a part
See,
I feel that.
there
God,
has to be some accountability. Yeah, see, we are not begging for anything. We are paying taxes, and the fundamental rights of justice and the fundamental right of equality before law. It's our fundamental right. We are taxpayers, right? So, I mean, the authorities and the agencies have to be answerable to the people. They have to be. They can't just stay silent without announcing, declaring anything, and I seriously don't know. There has to be some sort of accountability.
yeah. Yeah. Meenakshi is speaking about SSR being beaten. Police beaten SSR at that point. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we stopped at that point. Yeah. After that, Meenakshi, we did moved on to people are not being protected and they be afraid to voice out when they are in trouble because they might something might happen to them. So that's what we were talking about before we lost Dipti. Right,
Yes, yes,
Dipti?
Bachchanji. I'm not saying, see, it's not that everyone in the authority or everyone in the agency is corrupt and everyone is bad. No, it's not that. Okay. This
Yeah.
nexus, it traps these people. Even some people in the authorities or agencies, like in Srideviji's case, many people were there in the authorities and agencies who tried to help me, who wanted to help me. Okay. They later backed out because of some or the other reason. But these people are actually trapped. Okay, because uh, the nexus keeps them trapped in either through honey trapping or making videos of theirs, or trapping them in illegal deals, trapping them in illegal deals. And if we remember our ex CJI, Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi. Okay, I am
Mm-hmm.
not sure how much truth is there in the allegations that arose against him, but he was taking some tough decisions. There was when that controversy regarding one of his staff and him came out. So this is how, and also that Ekta Kapoor's movie wherein she has shown the army people in a very degrading light.
Mm.
Okay, wherein that made some controversy. If I if what reports I have got, they are not they are, if they are true, then this that controversy was created to warn one top level officer to toe the line. If they don't toe the line, this is how their videos will be circulated, and this is how these
Yeah.
people, I mean, I'm not saying there are bad people everywhere. This is just that they are trapped in something, or every human being has a weakness, and these people are masters at playing mind games.
Yeah. It's like they
They are
honey
masters
trap
at
you.
playing mind games.
Correct.
Honey
Honey
trap you
trap
or
you.
trap you in
They
illegal
bully
deals,
you.
or
Yeah. And then they control your
they
life after
threaten
that.
you.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's sad,
exactly.
Dipti. Yeah. Okay, Dipti, thank you so much for sharing the slides today. And once again, I want to say
Meenakshi Singh. Bachchanji,
government
yeah,
knows everything.
government knows everything. Yes, everyone knows everything. Let me tell you, it's not that no one knows. Government knows everything. The agencies know everything. The judiciary knows everything, and almost more than the public, the people in the authority know what happened to Sushant.
Yeah, yeah, correct. Um, Yeah, so coming back to the part that I want to speak on is continue doing what you're doing, Dipti ji, and you're doing a lot of things. In fact, you're going to compile after this whole thing is done. Sharing our diaries, we even compiled it. So yes, there's a lot of work. I really, really appreciate your effort fighting for justice for Sushan. You're fighting for justice for Sri Devi. You're doing it even for Jia Khan, and keep doing whatever you're doing. You know, God will bless you, big time.
Jia
Seriously.
Khan, Rabia ji, hats off to her.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, she
correct.
single-handedly for 8 years, 9 years. I've been trying to get her on your show, Bachchanji, but
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, every time, most of the times when it happens, when I try to get her on your show, she is traveling or something. Okay, I
Okay,
will
okay,
try to get her. She has also shown interest in coming to your show, but unfortunately, the times are not matching. Um,
okay. I would love to have her. One reason is I see it as a tigress. I think you see for her case, there's a lot of emotion involved in it because it's her daughter, but she have never
I
given
call
up.
her
She's fighting all
I
the
call her
yeah
Mother India. I call her Mother India.
yeah yeah.
One lady
She is
against the police, against the CBI, against the judiciary for 8, 9 years, living in London.
yeah yeah correct. 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 I really hope that she will get a good closure. I really pray for that because it's not easy. As I said, for us to see it and hear about it, when it's painful to us, imagine what the mother would feel. You know how the family would feel, even for SR case. So yeah, she's really really amazing, strong. I want her in my show to actually. Um, I look up to her in that sense. You know, you should fight for justice in such. I mean, whether you're related or not, I think like yourself. You know, yourself, Rabia Khan, I think you all are doing great things. So continue fighting for justice, and I really, really hope her
See,
daughter will get justice too. Yeah.
and justice is not difficult if all people come together. If all people come together, justice is not some distant dream that it is, which it is now. But that is the reason so many deviations and disruptions are there on social media as well, to keep the people divided. They should not unite for the cause of justice. They should not come together. They should stay divided. Some divided in some narrative, some divided in other narrative. They should not get together and roar as one unit for Sushant.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that
Correct.
happens, then they have to act.
In fact, it's a roaring that, which is why Sushant's case, CBI took over. If not, I think they would have closed the case as
Exactly,
suicide.
they would have closed it as suicide.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's high
Yeah.
time. Either CBI comes out and gives a statement.
Yeah.
It cannot see. It gave a statement last year saying that all angles are open. Again, after 1 year, it comes back and saying investigation is very much on, all angles are open. Where is the charge sheet? Where is the reason of death? You will take 1 year to declare the reason of death.
Yeah.
And in Jia Khan's case, it's 9 years and they haven't even declared whether it is suicide or what. It's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Now imagine when there's a
What?
delay, the culprit is running around freely and happily having a good life, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We have had cases wherein the verdict has come after 28 years. We have had cases where the verdict has come. What is the use of such justice?
Correct.
What's the use of the easiest way to deny justice is to delay it.
Yes. Well said.
And that is what is happening in the country.
Yeah. I mean, I also feel Sushant case is also going to drag quite some time too. I'm not seeing any closure in this case in anytime sooner.
I don't know. I mean, if people don't voice out, and I really don't know. This is sad. This is a sad situation, and
Yeah.
we should not be tolerating it. We were quiet till now. Divya Bhati, we were quiet. Gulshan Kumar, we were quiet. Parvin Bhabi. Of course, we didn't suspect any foul play then. Jia Khan, we were quiet. Sridevi ji. Sridevi ji, of course, again, the media did voice out initially. But then the likes of Barkadat and other some prominent journalists, it's death of Indian media. How can they not allow the actress to rest in peace? I mean, asking questions about the death is like, how can they trouble the family which has lost? How can they trouble the family which has lost their main member? And after 2-3 days, everything became silent. Though there were many questions regarding that death as well. And many people voiced out, and not a commoner like me. Initially, the one genuine person who had filed a petition was Sunil Singh. He is some politician and a filmmaker. He had raised a petition because he was in Dubai at that point of time when Sridevi died, and he had come to know that there were injury marks on the body and there was some foul play. And this Sunil Singh, I had contacted him because I had got hold of the original embalming certificate when his petition was in the court. And he came with his lawyer, Awasthi, Mr. Awasthi. He came to Bhubaneswar. He flew down to Bhubaneswar to meet me. But at that point of time, I was in two minds. What if this person is their person and he has been fielded to take hold of the evidences, and then the case is closed? I'm really sorry. I am really Sunil Singh, sir. I'm really sorry. I couldn't trust you to hand over the evidence to you at that point of time. But this is what had happened. And then we have had another ACP, retired ACP Ved Prakash Bhushan, who had taken his own investigation team to Dubai and had come with some papers that this is a murder and so many high profile names are involved. Dawood is involved. He did a press conference as well. Again, nothing happened. We have had another forensic expert, this friend of. They have given statement saying that, that was not a death due to accidental drowning. Accidental, when someone drowns accidentally or something, your mouth will never be open. If you look at her initial photographs, I'm not talking about the photographs after she came back to India. where she was heavily made up, like a bride. Okay, to hide the injuries and all, she was heavily made up. But only one photograph got leaked, wherein you see that her mouth was open.
Hmm.
Any forensic expert with even a little bit of knowledge, looking at the photographs, will say that this was not accidental drowning. So we have evidences swearing on the face. In Sushant's case, okay, CBI is looking for evidence. Okay, fine, because it is India. What about Sridevi's case? I have submitted 2 terrorist statements that is there in the military record room, that has been recorded by the agencies, wherein it clearly says that Sridevi has become a threat, and that threat, Sridevi has become a threat and she has to be bumped off. In
Hmm.
Amar Singh's word, in Amar Singh's, that the terrorist says that Amar Singh told that kachra Dubai mein saaf karo. Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
and I don't think I should be talking more about the evidences and all. Whatever already came, we have the original records, the original documents from Dubai's health authority itself. In spite of such evidences, justice is being denied.
Yeah. Yeah. These are concrete evidence you're having, and yet justice is being denied. You know.
Exactly. See, if the authorities have nothing to hide, if the agencies have nothing to hide, I say, come on, let's have a open trial. Let's have a live trial in front of the people. They will not come to it. Why will they not come down to it? Why are they not answering questions? Why are they not acknowledging evidences? If this is the state of affairs, should we be okay with it? And let me tell you, if we are okay with it, even now, then let us be prepared to lose our own people this way. No
Yeah.
one will come forward.
Yeah. I mean, the culprits, whoever doing all this nonsense, they all know. Let's take away the CCTV and get the job done. After that, CCTV is not working. This is becoming a pattern of death after death. The CCTV is not working. But I think one of the slides in Sushan did mention that Rabia Khan got hold of the CCTV footage,
Rabia,
right?
yeah, he mentioned a surprise that instead of the agencies recovering the CCTV, it was Rabia Khan who got hold of the CCTV, and
Yeah.
that CCTV. And I have been following Jia Khan's case. That CCTV was tampered by the police.
Hmm.
Some 7 to 9 minutes of the CCTV was missing.
Oh. Hmm.
If the people who are meant to protect us, if the people who are responsible for maintaining law and order in the society, if the people who are meant to punish the criminals, if they are the ones who are sabotaging and hiding the evidences, where should a common man go?
Oh. Correct. Scary. Scary. Worrying. I got no.
Okay,
I know.
let's say there are too many of YouTubers, there are many narratives and whatever it is. Don't believe me, don't believe others, whatever it is. But this is the basic truth, right? We
Yep.
all know that Sushant was murdered. We all
Yep.
know that Sri Davis was not accidental drowning.
Yeah.
We all know what is happening with Jia Khan. Isn't this enough to raise your voice for justice? Do we need to listen to different narratives and then be sure of which narrative? Whatever narrative is being spread, no one can dispute the fact that Sushant was murdered. No one can dispute the fact that Sridevi's death was not accidental drowning. No one can dispute the fact that what happened to Jia Khan is grave injustice since
Yeah.
9 years. Is it not enough for the people to come together and raise a voice against the system? What more do you need?
Yeah.
Why are you willfully being so gullible to be misled by different narratives? Why? Whatever narratives are being spread, they are not disputing this fact, right?
Yeah. Correct. Why? 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 The question why? Why? Probably ask you back the same question. Why do you think it's not being solved? Why are they not getting justice? In your opinion, what do you think?
Because they wanted to expose some wrongs that were done, which have connections with big names,
Okay.
big politicians, and so naturally, each one of them is saving each other's back.
Okay. They're all interconnected. So when one
Exactly,
leak, the other will get exposed. Yeah. Okay.
exactly. Like here in the, I just read the slide about Neera Modi, right? He
Yeah.
spoke about one source told him what how Neera Modi was blackmailing. I will go. I will make sure that I am free. But if you harass me, I will take your name and your image will go for a toss. That is what he told.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
there's a link.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a, everyone has a link. You
Yeah.
pull mine, I will pull yours. So let us
Yeah.
protect each other.
For 3 days, it's a big link. So it's like, so this will be a, hopefully it will come to a closure for good closure, I would say, DPG. So I think, yeah, probably we'll end it here. And thank you so much. I will not hold you any longer. You read a lot, quite a bit of slides. In fact, I felt like drinking water, and I thought, okay, I better not drink because she's doing the reading and I can't be drinking water. Yeah, seriously. But yes, thank you so much, DPJ. And uh, I have a lot of respect for you. That's what I wanted to say before you know, we, yeah, before the end of the session.
See,
Is there anything on?
even if, yeah, even if it's me, it's not me, or anyone else for that matter, um, the systems are not right in India. We should voice out now. We should voice out now. I'm not saying believe me blindly. Okay, don't believe me. But three facts: the things that Sushant was murdered, Srideviji's was not accidental drowning, Jia Khan's case has been too dragging on for too long without even getting a reason of the death. See, such kind of system is not acceptable. We should not be okay with it.
Correct. Runa Roy just said that Dipti is always very logical. Her answers should shut off people who question her. Heads off to you, Dipti. More power to you.
Thank you, Ranjit. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of there's some minute people who are actually, probably a PR team. I do not know what they're trying to do. As I said, it's okay, like what you just said, it's okay to ask questions, have doubts. But you don't pin the person down and say, no, you're fake, you're what you're saying is not true. I mean, how do you know it's not true? You know?
Exactly.
Is there anything
Exactly.
to prove? Yeah.
You don't even, you haven't even verified them. To verify them, you need to have the source code, the main link. They need to know the interface I am working on. They know nothing about it. Okay, and
Yeah.
someone comes and says, where is the diary? It should have Sushant's handwriting. Come, oh, come on. What should I say to such a logic? Tell me. And
Yeah,
some
yeah.
and the arguments are like, okay, even if it is Sushant's, who gave her the right? It is data privacy. She is what going against data privacy law, and she should hand it over to their family. See, their family can be easily manipulated. Their family can be easily threatened or pressurized into silence. If they
But
really
DPJ, for
wanted,
all you know, probably the family also probably have the diaries, but just that they can't speak out now. You don't know. You don't know
we
anything. What
don't
is
know.
it?
We don't
Yeah,
know. We
yeah,
don't know. we we
yeah. Like
really
what you
don't
said.
know anything. Yeah, we should not,
Yeah,
we should not judge them, at least for
yeah,
the sake of Sushant.
yeah.
Sushant
Like,
adored his family, right? And if you
yeah,
people adore Sushant without knowing the facts of it, let us not be too quick to jump into assumptions about them.
yeah. Like what you said, they probably are going through. They are also being pressurized, just like Disha Salian case. They actually shut off the family. They did not even bring up the case and fight for Disha at all. So it could be a lot of things.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. We don't know what the family is going through. We don't know.
So many messages popping up. Union highlight. Mm. Okay,
Why
DPG, is
are
there
we
any?
dreaming about justice in India? It's a basic right. It's not only about dreaming. Justice is not, it has become so costly and expensive in India that only people with deep pockets
Mm.
can actually have it.
Yeah, yeah. Money talk. Money talk.
Money talks. I mean, see, even if someone wants, even if someone wants to fight like Rabia Khan ji, okay, they should. A common person can't do that. 9 years coming from London, fighting the case. Even in India,
Yeah.
fighting a case for every hearing and for everything, you have to shell out money, even if it
Mm.
happens or if it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Emotionally it's draining, financially it's draining,
Training,
you know. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And she can't move on because she's not getting closure, the right closure for this. I know how it feels. Yeah. It's not something I do not know what happened. It's something that I know what happened and it's not being revealed or
Everyone
exposed.
knows.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what happened. Everyone,
Mm.
even the people fighting against her, they too know.
Mm.
When I start, I sometimes feel that it will reach out to the good in some people at the high position. At least they will come and talk. It will reach out. These voices that we are raising for justice, are they so cold-hearted? Are our authorities, are our agencies, are our lawmakers who are sitting in high positions, taking charge of the country, are they so stone-hearted that they can't hear our pleas, our cries? They can't hear the cries of a mom since 8 years. They can't hear the cries of so many people who have been voicing out for Sushant Singh Rajput.
Yeah.
Itna bhi, don't be so stone-hearted. Please don't be so stone-hearted, and don't be so selective in voicing out. In someone in the media, what happens? We show that some person has made a small child has made a request, and that request is actually addressed by someone higher up, and that becomes a big issue. Why? Because that is orchestrated. Here, so many people are voicing out, but this news is nowhere. The mainstream media has gone silent as well.
Mm.
Okay.
Correct.
And I don't want to pinpoint on anyone, but see, it's you business for them. Arnab tried to raise voice for Sushant, and then what happened? We all know the arrest and this and that and everything, and now he is back to Salman Bhai, you're cool, this, that, and everything. So it's business for the media houses. I don't know. I mean, till we take it personally, uh, and the people who should be taking it personally, the media, the judiciary, the law agencies, they are simply ignoring.
There's a
Is this
question by Sorry, go on, Deepti. Go on, go on.
what sort of arrogance is this?
Yeah.
What
Deepti,
sort of arrogance is this? Yeah, tell me, please.
there's a question here by Kavya Chepali. As soon as Arjun Kapoor stepped in Dubai, Hani was released from Dubai
Boni,
police
Boni.
custody.
Boni was
Oh,
released
Boni.
from.
Sorry. Yeah, Boni is released from Dubai police custody. What's the reason, ma'am?
I don't know about Arjun Kapoor's involvement in this thing, okay. But what I know is that it was pre-planned. It was pre-planned, and of course they made a mess of it in the end because Sridevi didn't collapse. Sridevi ji didn't collapse in the dancing in the wedding because of the poison, but she had. They had to actually give her some serious injuries, so that's why it became a mess. Otherwise, what information I have, the wedding in Dubai was in fact planned for this very purpose of pumping of
Okay.
Sridevi there. Sridevi is a big star in India.
Yeah.
She is a pan India star. You must have noticed the crowd which had come to see her funeral. If
Mm.
something like that had happened, people wouldn't have kept quiet.
Mm.
Okay.
Correct.
So this thing in Dubai was pre-planned. Again, we have the insurance as well. Because since some years she was trying to expose the criminal activities of her husband. Initially, he made her quite saying that he will reform, he will leave everything. Because she had contacted one of the late officers, who was a co-petitioner with me for her case, that is late Lieutenant General I.S. Gill. Okay, she had called him in 2016 and she had informed him about Boni's activities. Okay, so this officer told her that you kindly file an FIR and we will take it out from there. After a few days, she comes back and says that no, he has promised to mend his ways. I think I should give him time.
Mhm. Mhm.
So even Sridevi's death was, or Sushant's death, these have not been planned overnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so this is the situation we all are in. A
Yeah.
single person or a group of people can't do it. Bachchan ji is doing her job, trying to spread the word to people. Mitra ji is doing her job, trying to spread the word to people. Meena ji is trying to do her job. I am trying to do the job on ground, trying to bring the truth out. But till the people who are watching all this doesn't spend and they don't come together, we are not going to bring any kind of changes that are needed.
Hopefully it changes. Life is, hope is the only option we have now. Just to keep on praying, keep on hoping that things will change and justice will prevail.
It depends on us. If you are not ready to quit, things are bound to change. If we feel harassed and if we lose patience and we lose this time and the momentum, mare kitna, how long will we wait? Come on. Like we have forgotten all other deaths. If this happens with Sushant as well, then there is no hope.
Yeah. Right. Let's hope it will happen soon, but it's dragging too long, to the extent like we're giving up. It's like giving up. Hopefully, this is going to be another Sri Devi story where it's going to drag so long. Another Jia Khan story drags so long, or another Parveen Babi story that's dragged for donkey years already. So let's see how it goes, Dipti ji. But like what you said, common people like us, let's us just continue voicing out, hoping that someday, somehow, there'll be justice.
Like last year or before that in 2018 or 2019, there were some serious discussions going on in the government circles. As I keep saying that I have high respect for Amit Shah ji and Rajnath Singh ji. See, they also look at initiatives when someone go to them and with suggested reforms or something, they look at them with interest. But then the nexus is such that it controls the system. Their hands are tied in some ways too as well. There are some people in the authorities as well who want to do good, but in spite of their wanting, they are unable to.
Hmm. Right. Like what you say is
So,
like interconnected, and sometimes the right person or who wants to speak out are stuck in between. They can't do anything. They know if they voice out, either they
if they voice out, they will be stuck in some case or the other.
yeah, correct.
Their political career will go for a toss.
Yeah.
So this is a sad state. Come on, people, wake up. Sushant was trying to wake the common man up to make them realize their potential and how much strength their unity holds.
Yeah.
So if we quit now, there is no hope for a
Right.
just and a fair country. That's
Yeah.
all I had to say, Bachchan ji.
Yeah. In fact, the contents in Sushant Diaries is actually an eye opener. As I said, focus on the contents and know what's happening around you. That's his main motive. Also, he want a lot of people to know what's happening. What's really happening out there. He have been exposing a lot of people, whether he wrote it or he never write it. That means have to emphasize that the content makes a lot of sense, and the content is important to be exposed, and it's good to
Exactly,
know. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And people have been asking me what is to her and why is she poking her nose in first Sri Devi she said, then Sushant. So Sushant's thing I never planned. It's just that I came across the information because I was investigating the same field regarding Sri Devi ji. I got some inside info. That's how I got hold of the diaries. But I have a personal agenda here as well, personal motive. My son is 8 years old. So now I am not able to decide what to teach him. Teach him values or teach him to be, to lick the boots of whoever is in power to forget the values. I have
And
an agenda. I have a personal motive. I want my son to live in a fair world when he grows up. That's why I'm fighting. So I
okay.
believe that all of you also want that. So let us stay together and see what change we can bring. Let us I don't know. I mean, we have all had. Yes, I will request all the warriors, whoever has been maligning me or whoever has been supporting me, let us all come together. And since we have taken the initiative of bringing the people closer, and okay, my diaries may be fake, my drives may be fake, you might be true, you might be an authority and everything. Okay. But since we are not disputing on the fact that Sushant was murdered, let us at least for a start let us all get together, go to the CBI office, and submit a strong letter asking for the charge sheet or that the reason to be given with this specific time. And if that doesn't happen, then people should come together and raise their voices. They should come out on the streets. It is COVID time, pandemic time. Unfortunately, the pandemic situation is also not allowing us to come out on the streets. But so authorities and agencies cannot stay silent, and this should not be acceptable to us. This should not.
Yeah. Been too quiet. Yeah. Okay, Deepti, I think yeah, we will. I can see a lot of frustration in you, and I can understand because you're living there. You know what I mean? And like what you said, if you're going to bring up your son with current situation, with values, people are going to step on him and make his life miserable. You're going to ask him to lick the boots.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
would,
What should I teach
yeah,
him? What should I
yeah,
teach him? Shall I teach him values, or shall I teach him that whoever is in power, kick the values
yeah,
aside? Just
yeah,
do whatever they want to say, and you will grow in life.
yeah.
What should I teach him?
I hope many more people out there they will speak out just like you. And as you said, you need more numbers and more people to roar. So at least it will shake the whole system.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We need a revolution now. We need a revolution now. But for that revolution to happen, we all have to come on the same page. And that is what these people don't want. That is why so many diversions, so many disruptions are being held, so that the people do not stay united and they keep quarreling among themselves. He is right,
yeah.
she is right, I am right, you are right. Only one thing is right, that is justice for Sushant Singh Rajput, and one thing is right, that is he was murdered. So was Disha Salian, so were most of his team members. CBI should act. No, 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 no. Let's see. It's not let's see. We will do it. Don't worry. We will do it. It's not let's see. And regarding Srideviji's case also, I am very hopeful. I'm not telling anything right now, but it's not yet over. It's not yet over. We are very much in the fight. We can come back strong. I just request all the people to never be okay with any sort of injustice. We are in the majority. We are in the majority. The common people are in the majority. We are being ruled by a few handful of evils who have taken over the system. Being in the majority, if we cannot unite and bring about a revolution for the much needed change, shame on us.
And I mean, it's just a frustration that actually we are blabbering here, but frankly, we are having a lot of hope and we will fight for justice, continue fighting for justice. And we believe and we strongly believe that, one day justice will prevail. And for all those people we are fighting for, hopefully they all get a good closure. So,
They should.
Protester say we are with you, Deepti. Yes. So I'm
Thank
gonna,
you.
end the session saying that we are with you, and I think more people should be like you, uh, fighting for justice. Will make it even more louder and even more stronger, DPG. Thank you so much for your time. I think it's almost like 2 hours, but yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Thank you so much,
yeah,
Rachel.
thank you,
Please
DPG.
continue your
Yeah,
good job. Continue your
I,
good work.
I will,
Keep
I will.
spreading the truth. Keep spreading the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah, yeah.
And
I will. I'm more
thank
inspired. I mean, to be very frank, I'm inspired by you, Deepti ji. A lot of people out there inspired by you. In fact, when someone like you are fighting for justice, they will be inspired to fight for justice too. You get what I mean? So when one person is getting up to fight for justice, a lot of other people will get up to do the same thing. So in that way, you are actually setting a very good example.
let's hope I mean it's not just me. I mean it's everyone should come together now. And yes,
Yeah,
a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are happening. It's not let us not lose hope. Let us not lose hope.
yeah,
It is in us. It is in us. If we allow others to take control of our lives, then then every hope is gone,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just
True.
realize the potential. Just realize how strong you are. You are not weak. You are not weak. A common man is not weak. Just realize that you cannot be played with. If you
Yeah,
are paying taxes and if you are work, if you are uh, I mean, doing everything that you are supposed to do, then whatever the system or the nation promises you as your fundamental right, that is your right. That is your right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But Deputy, there's one thing I also realized whether Sushant case is getting a closure or not. But somehow, rather, I feel whoever involved in his life who backstabbed him or who did the wrong thing to him, their name are one by one are being exposed now for other kind of cases. So in that way, I also have hope that karma plays its part. It will come back and hit big time.
I wish karma just quickens up a bit. I just hope
Yeah.
karma quickens up a bit because it is this gap in the karma and its actions that is actually causing the entire trouble. If
Mm.
only the moment a bad thought came into your mind, some pimple or reason came out. So that, I mean, something, I can't myself keep thinking like that. I mean, if the results of the bad thoughts, even, or the bad feelings or the bad actions were instant, then people would not have dared to, the evil wouldn't have risen to this level.
Yeah.
So I have a complaint with karma and God that I will
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
it when I reach there.
Yeah. No, when you look at the culprit's point of view, they say, "Hey, I can do whatever I want, and my life is still going on fine. I'm even happier now. Nothing is changing for me. Nothing is miserable for me." So, yeah, in that angle, if we look at it, yeah, it's like encouraging the culprits to do even more.
Exactly. This delay
But
shouldn't be there.
yeah, but anyway, the God heard us now. Hopefully,
See, I will tell you one thing here. If the system is hopeless and lost and everything, we won't stop fighting, right? For
yeah,
the common man, I will say something. Okay. If you feel that you want to fight but no one is listening or something, that will in yourself and that one prayer to God, that one genuine prayer to God will open doors. When all doors are closed and when you want something as badly as you need oxygen, if you need something as badly as you need oxygen, and look up to God, and if your need is not wrong, then doors will open.
mm,
Doors will open by themselves. So prayers have a
mm,
lot of strength. So we
mm,
should not stop wanting the right thing. We should not stop voicing out for the right thing.
correct.
Right? It's only when we are dead within. It's only when we are dead within that things will not happen.
Yeah, true.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
Vachanji, I have taken so much of your time. Thank you so much for having
No,
me
no,
here.
no. It's a pleasure to have you. In fact, I'm happy you're here. Just that sometimes I feel bad. I'm holding you back too long. That's why. And yeah,
No,
it's a
no,
lot
it
of work on
happens.
your side. Yeah, yeah. But it's always been pleasure to have you in my channel, and it's really nice talking to people who are actually good at heart. So in that way, yeah, it's nice having you here.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much,
much.
Deputy G. Good night.
Thank you.
Have a good
Yeah.
evening.
You too. Good
God
night. Yeah.
bless you, G. God bless you. Good night.
You too. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you. Bye bye. Okay, let's thank Deepti ji. She have came on my show and shared quite a bit of, I mean, she have read the slides. She's also concerned about the justice, judicial system in India and all that. But let's hope Sushan will get justice, Jia Khan, Sri Devi ji, Disha Salian, even Vijay Chitra. Hope all these people will get justice. Um, as what protesters say, we won't stop fighting and never doubt when there is a will, there is a way. And yes, karma will come back and hit, and those people will get justice. All right. So I will leave now. Have a good night. See you all again in the next video. Bye bye. Thanks for all those who actually sent in your comments, and thank you, friends, for viewing this video. Bye bye.